Hi there everybody, it's UK independent demonstrator Halsey here from slimandstylish.com. Thank you for joining me today. Today I have this sort of magazine organiser, or that's how I normally see them, and they have your magazines in. This is a smaller version that I have in my craft room. I made it a couple of months ago using the Before the Christmas DSP when it first arrived, because Stampin' Up has got a lot of 6x6 DSP in the holiday catalogue. And when this arrives, it comes in cling film, and when you take the sort of shrink wrap cling film off, it's all loose. And we have 4 or 5 different DSP types in the new holiday catalogue, and I wanted somewhere to store it. My 12x12 is sorted. I have lovely folders for those, which you might have seen if you do my craft room tour. But 6x6 has always just been a bit bitty, and I haven't used it because I haven't known how to store it. So I made one of these a couple of months ago, and a lady came to my class and she asked me if I would show her how to make one. So I'm going to make one as a tutorial. I didn't come up with it. I got the tutorial originally from May Made It on YouTube. This was how she had done it. She did 2 different ones, a 6x6 one and a 5x7 one for cards. I've made slight arrangements to it. So what May had did, or done, that was very bad English, hers was wider. I think hers was 3 inches because she was putting finished 6x6 cards into it. Hers was slightly narrower, so when I put my 6x6 in, I have a little lip just here which allows me some flexibility when putting them in. Hers was tight, and then in contrast up the top here, mine just doesn't cover the top, hers did. So hers slightly covered it there and was slightly narrower here. I've decided I wanted mine wider here, and the top of my paper, when this is in my actual cupboard, won't get messed up there, so I didn't really mind. And then I've covered it with this paper. She's not a Stampin' Up demonstrator. She didn't have Stampin' Up DSP on hers, but I quite like this one. So I'm going to go with, this was Night Before Christmas. I'm going to go with Brightly Gleaming because it's still in the same sort of blue. It's still Night and Navy, and it will look right next to this one, but I can put my non-Christmas DSP in because I'm pretty sure with the New Occasions catalogue there will be a 6x6 again in there, so I can get that done. What you need for this is you need your scoring tool and a piece of 12x12 cardstock. I'm using crumb cake, and a corresponding piece of cardstock that is 2.5 inches by 3 inches, and that's just for the front part of the box, so it does this bit just here. Okay, I'm going to take that out so it's a bit looser and have this on my desk so I can keep showing you. It is quite robust because here in particular there's 4 bits of cardstock, so it is actually quite a thick box. So let's get started. Right, so what you want to do on your 12x12 sheet of cardstock is you want to score it at 5 7/8 of an inch all the way down. If you wanted this to be like May's and have it so this was higher and this was in, you'd score it at 6. But as I want it, I've scored it at 5 7/8, and I've made sure I've properly scored that because I'm going to want it to properly fold. I'm now turning it, and I'm going to score it at 5 1/4 all the way down, and I'm going to score it at 6 3/4 all the way down. And again, I'm just going to go over those a couple of times because I want it to be a nice flush score. If you wanted this bit to be wider, like May did, she had it 3 inches, you could easily do that. You could take it to 4.5 here, and you could take it to 7.5 here, which would give you the 3 inches. I've just got 1.5 inches. Okay, so it's 4 1/4 and 6 3/4. Sorry, 5 1/4 and 6 3/4. And that at the moment is all the scoring you're doing. I'm going to come in with my trimmer in a minute and do a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ruler and a pen. Did I grab a pen? There we go. My journaling pen. And from this score line up here, So I'm just going to check that this is the, yeah. So on the bit that is 5 7/8, this is the bit you want to play on. The bit that's 6 1/8, leave that, you're playing at the top here. And you want to go from this score line here and you want to measure 1 inch, which is there. And you want to measure 1 inch this way, which is there. Okay. From the middle score line, you want to go up and measure 2 inches. And again, from the middle score line on this side. Okay, and you're going to score from one to the other and from one to the other. So you can do this with your trimmer if you wanted to. You can do it with your scoreboard, whichever way you normally find easier. I find it easier to play with the trimmer. And put both of the black dots in the runner, like that, and run my scoring tool over the top, like that. And I'm just going to do it a couple of times. Okay, and I'm going to come and do exactly the same on this side. So that black dot's in the runner and that black dot's in the runner. And do it again. Okay. I'm going to come along with my bone folder now and I'm going to burnish all of these score lines. My desk is not good for working 12 by 12. It really isn't. It's a little bit too narrow. I actually craft at a bigger desk that's behind where I film, but is not so good with the light for filming. So when I make my prototypes, or like I'd made this for me, I wasn't really planning on filming this until someone asked me to. I make it at my desk behind me and it's a lot easier. So there we go, and across there. Now you have two options here. These two bits you can cut out and take them out completely, because this here is where you form the sides. But what she did on her tutorial, and I think it's a great idea, is bend them in and it just makes it a lot thicker. So I'm just going to grab my Tombow and run it across those. Make sure it goes all the way to the edge, so it can stick it down. Okay, I'm just going to use my bone folder, so that is a proper stuck edge. I want it stuck well. I don't want it lifting, otherwise my paper's going to get stuck with it. And again, this bit. It doesn't matter that there's glue seeping out, that's going to dry by the time you put your paper in. And it's inside, so it's not going to be seen, but you just really want to make sure it is stuck really well. I'm just going to wipe that off my bone folder though, I don't want that tacky later on. Right, so once you've done that, you want to make some cuts now. Your cuts are going to be across here. Because I like to have smooth cuts, I'm going to use my trimmer rather than my scissors. If I'm cutting a large section like that, I do like to use my trimmer because it just makes it so much neater, I find. So let's just get both of those in the runner. Go up to there and drop it down. Hopefully by the time you're watching this, we will have the new trimmer. I've seen pictures of it, I can't wait for it. And I've heard that it's very good as well. So the next thing to do is this here is 5.5 inches. I think it works out actually at 5 1/4. Yeah, sorry, 5 1/4 inches. So you want to score this, and I'm going to recommend that you score it at 2.5 inches in. Okay, so I'm just going to turn it round and go to 2.5 and score it. It doesn't need to go all the way to the bottom, so you'll see what I mean in a minute. Yeah, 5 1/4, 2.5. So I'm going to do that one there at 2.5, and I'm going to turn it round and do this one here at 2.5. I hope this is clear for you. And I'm just going to score this bit. I know my trimmer comes off the desk, so you can't see what I'm doing down there, but hopefully you can see that I have now got this bit where we scored it and I've stuck it down. This bit bends in. Oh, I didn't finish trimming that. Where's my snips? I thought I took that all the way up, but I haven't. I've just ripped it, so I've scagged my material. But there we go. Hopefully that one's all the way up. It is. So that will form that part of the box. Okay. This bit here, you want to score in. Because you've done it at 2.5 and it was actually 5 1/4, you've just got that little bit at the bottom that it doesn't meet. I'm happy with that. I think it's nice having a slightly wider side. Okay. And then you've got this bit here. So while I'm waiting for that to dry, with this bit here, you want to score around at 1/2 inch on 3 sides. So this is the bit that is 3 inches by 2.5 inches. So you want to score it on the 2.5 inch side at 1/2 inch and at 2 inches. Okay, and then on the 3 inch side, you just want to score once at 2.5 inches. Fold and burnish all of those. And then you just want to chop the corners out. So I'm going to tab it like that and chop the corners out. Okay, and I'm going to put a slight tab at the top as well. So it's like that. I'm going to use sticky strip now because it's a little bit easier than Tombow for this particular bit. So you're going to want to get some of your tear and tape. Any strong adhesive will do. If you've still got fuse, that would be probably the best for it. Or tear and tape, not snail. Snail wouldn't work because you want it to stick quite fast. Tombow would also work, but you just have to wait for it to dry, and we're on a video, so that's why I'm going to use sticky strip. Okay. Bring in the base, and this is where you're going to want to stick this. I have got the 1/2 inch circle, the 1.5 inch circle punch, because I did this detail at the front. She didn't do this on her tutorial, she kept it straight. Totally up to you. I'm just going to grab the punch, I'm going to line it up there. And I'm totally doing that really more by seeing to make sure that that is in the middle and straight. Okay. So what you're going to want to do is peel just the one off at the moment. And you want to make sure that this score line here matches and tarries with that score line. And that this score line matches and tarries with the end there. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to glue this down. Oh, come on, Tombow. Who else tries to make pretty patterns with their Tombow? I do. So I'm just going to glue that down, which will hide the seam for the front, but it also gives the side extra strength. Okay. Make sure that's straight. I'm then going to stick I'm going to take both bits off, actually, that'll probably be the easiest way to do it, and stick this bit down. So you want to bring this up. I'll try and do it this way so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm sorry for my head's in, I just want to make sure it's straight. There we go. And then I'm going to bring this side up and stick that bit in. So it's a bit fiddly, but I'm sure you'll manage that. There we go. And I'm just going to use my Tombow to glue that bit down. You might have to bend it a bit to get it to fit in. That's fine. And that is totally the base of your box done. This will then come up and stick onto the sides like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a look on my pen and know that the glue can't go past sort of that line. I think I'm coming to the end of my Tombow. I've been saying this though for weeks, probably months actually. I have about 4 Tombows on the side of my desk that I've been using for classes. And all of them feel empty, so I was actually going to throw them away because they all felt empty, but actually I've been using them in videos and stuff, and there seems to still be quite a bit of glue left in them, and I'm sure on one of my videos I'm going to start using them and they're going to run out, but that's okay because they're just all here. I've got loads of them and they all feel empty, but it just shows they go on forever and ever. But I don't want to take them to a class because if they run out, the class is going to be stuck. So I've took new ones to the class. And I have these ones here. Good value for money though. I mean, these have been going for ages. I store them upside down though, so it's a lot easier to get the glue out. There we go. Oh. I hadn't noticed that when I stuck it up. It's not exactly straight. Can I still change that? One of the good things about Tombow is it's quite flexible, but I think I've left that too long. So I'll totally ignore that on that side it's not straight. I'm going to put some DSP over anyway, so you won't see that. But that one I've closed not quite straight. That's how you want it, so it's a straight bit on there. And my OCD is not going to be happy with it, but I'm going to ignore it. All right, so then with your DSP, this is probably the tricky bit, is trying to choose which piece of DSP to put on. Do I want stars next to it? Or do I want that one next to it? I'm going to go with this one. So all I did with this is I popped it on. It is just over 6 inches, by the way. This by the way, is a piece of 12 by 12 cut in half, so it's 12 by 6. And so you could do this with 2 sheets of 6 by 6. That would be fine to do as well, because I'm going to cut that at less than 6 inches. So what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to measure the height of my box, which I know should be 5 7/8 of an inch, and it is. So I'm going to cut this at 5 5/8 of an inch. Where's my trimmer gone? I'm going to do it twice because obviously I've got 2 sides. Five 5/8 by 6. So when it actually fits on there, there'll be that gap at the top. We'll have crumb cake all the way around. So I know that this is now, this is 1 inch. So I'm going to want this bit here at, where was I that? Turned it over and got confused. So I want that there to be 6/8 of an inch. So have I still got my pen somewhere? There I have. So measure this out, 6/8 of an inch, and put a mark. Just there, so it's 6/8 is 3/4, isn't it? Being a bit dense. And this here, I think was 2 3/4 of an inch, so I want it at 2.5 inches up. Okay, and cut between that line and that line, the same as you did for the other bit. And that should go onto there, not perfectly. Oh, I know why it hasn't gone perfect, because of that bit. That was me being exceedingly dense. Exceedingly dense. So I want that there, yeah. But I want it to go across to there before it goes up. Can I see where I just put that line? No. That was very silly of me. So I'm just going to go across to where I've just made that line. And instead I'm going to cut from that bit now down to there, because I think that's right. Let me just double check before I do it. Yeah, from there straight down to there. We're pretty much spot on. Problem is with this stripe is I can't see where it was. It was there. There we go. And there we are. Problem rectified. That was very dense of me. So I'm just going to glue that down. You can use your snail for this, but I'm not sure where I put mine. There it is. Oh, well played. I'll go back to my Tombow. I was trying to make it quicker for you, means I'd made a slight mistake, but at the end of my Tombow. I said something would run out and my snail ran out instead. So there's that bit, and you want to do exactly the same for that side. I know that you will get that, so I'm not going to show you how to do that bit because you've already done it on that side. For this bit here, this was 1.5 inches. So where's the bit I've just cut off? I'm going to use this. Cut it at 1.25 inches. Waste not, want not, this is. And I know that that was 2.5, so I'm going to cut it at 3 so that it laps underneath. I'll show you what I mean. I actually took this completely underneath and wrapped it round because this hasn't got any double. This is double, and it's quite sturdy. This wasn't, so I thought I'm going to stick that all the way round. I need to use the hole punch, so I'm just going to go from corner to corner here and use that so that it mimics up there like that and then folds over. Okay. And that massive blob. This paper is gorgeous, but isn't that a pain to work with on the other side? I know, it confused me when I put my dots on there with my marker because I couldn't see the dots. And I'm just going to use that. I'm just going to do it by feel and flip it over. So that just makes that, it doesn't make it much sturdier. I don't expect it to make it a lot sturdier, but it does make it quite a bit sturdier. And then the other bit that you had that was 6 inches by 5 6/8 of an inch, that you can use that on that side to make the whole box. And that's how you do it. Quite simple. And that will fit in your 6 by 6 papers, no problem. All the measurements and details are up on my blog. I'm sorry I confused you with this bit. I confused myself. And I had it written down. I had it all written down on previous grid paper. Look, I'd scribbled it all, but wasn't paying attention at all. But I'll have it on my blog for you. If you liked any of the supplies, you can purchase them from slimandstylish.com. Go up to the top and hit buy. This paper is the Brightly Gleaming Suite, Night Before Christmas, and then the 12x12 cardstock and the 1.5 inch circle punch. Okay, thanks for joining me today, and I will see you all soon. Do subscribe for more videos. Thanks guys, bye. Hi there guys, just a really quick snippet because I couldn't leave the video unfinished. I did do the other side and I ripped all of this off because it wasn't straight, and redid it and stuck it with sticky strip. So this is actually the same box, but I just pulled it off with a Tombow. It did make the paper a little bit scaggy, but I stuck it back down with sticky strip and it stuck down fine. But now both of my sides are straight, which was what I really wanted. I couldn't leave without letting you know that. Thanks.